Welcome back to part 2 of Guitar Hero How I Remember It, and today we'll be covering the peak of the Guitar Hero franchise, and that game is Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock, along with Guitar Hero World Tour and the first band-focused game in the franchise. Now let's get right into Guitar Hero 3. After the former developer Harmonix was bought out by Viacom, Activision needed a developer to develop the next Guitar Hero game, so they hired Neversoft, the developer of the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater series, to develop the next Guitar Hero game, and they did a phenomenal job because this is one of the best games in the series. The setlist in this game is amazing. Almost all the songs are the studio recordings and no longer the crappy covers from the original games. I get that the covers were supposed to be a stylistic choice, but I prefer to have the original studio recordings instead of covers. And the songs that are covers don't sound too bad compared to the original games. The setlist contains many classic songs from groups like Metallica, Slayer, Slipknot, Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath, Pearl Jam, Red Hot Chili Peppers, The Smashing Pumpkins, and Tenacious D. The setlist really got me into metal songs, and I still listen to most of these songs in the setlist. This setlist also put Dragon Force on the map, since Through the Fire and Flames is included in the setlist, and it's really hard, and it's a good way to end the game. I bet you probably didn't start listening to Dragon Force without playing Guitar Hero 3 first. This game also introduced boss battles into the series, and you get to fight against the Legends of Rock. Yeah, this game includes some Legends of Rock, and those Legends of Rock are Tom Morello and Slash, and that's it. There could have been a couple more. Don't get me wrong, I love Guns N' Roses and Rage Against the Machine, but there really could have been a few more Legends of Rock added to the game. You fight against the devil for the final boss, and you play a metal cover of The Devil Went Down to Georgia, and it's a lot of fun to play. Overall, Guitar Hero 3 is still a great game to play today, and it's aged incredibly. The HUD in this game has been completely redesigned, and it looks a lot more modern compared to the older games. Besides a few minor complaints, Guitar Hero 3 is still a great game, and it's still fun to play today. 2008 saw a couple different Guitar Hero games. The first game released in 2008 was Guitar Hero Aerosmith, which was the first band-focused Guitar Hero game. This game contains songs from Aerosmith along with a couple other artists sprinkled in. The setlist also contains covers, and it's the last major Guitar Hero game to use covers in the main setlist. This is also the only game in the series to give the cover bands credit for their work. This game uses the same engine as Guitar Hero 3. The Aerosmith songs contain the band members motion captured for the game. Aerosmith also made more money on this game than any of their albums or singles. Overall, Guitar Hero Aerosmith is a cool game, but it really could have been just released as DLC for Guitar Hero 3, instead of being released as a full-priced expansion. Around the same time Guitar Hero Aerosmith released, a handheld game called Guitar Hero On Tour was released on the DS. The game comes with an adapter called the Grip, which you connect the grip to the GBA slot on the DS or DS Lite, and that's how you play the game. This game is okay, but it's nothing special. A few months later, an expansion called Guitar Hero On Tour Decades was released, and it's about the same as the original Guitar Hero On Tour, but with songs from different decades. Now let's move on to the next mainline Guitar Hero game. In 2007, shortly after the release of Guitar Hero 3, former developer Harmonix released Rock Band, their answer to Guitar Hero 3. Unlike GH3, Rock Band introduced a full band experience which added drums and microphone support, and you can play with up to 4 people at once. Neversoft knew they had to keep up with Harmonix, so in October of 2008, Neversoft released Guitar Hero World Tour, and this was the first Guitar Hero game to have drums and microphone support. The setlist is massive this time around, containing a total of 86 songs. The songs included are still rock and metal, but some songs included are a little more on the pop side. All the songs included are the master recordings instead of using crappy covers. Slider notes were introduced for guitar, and there's a touch strip on the guitar controller for slider notes, which was pointless in my opinion. This was also the first game in the series to introduce overlapping star power, and this was the first Guitar Hero game to really start using the hammer-ons and pull-offs. The hammer-ons and pull-offs have been around forever, but they weren't really used a lot besides from Through the Fire and Flames on GH3. Some musicians, such as Ozzy Osbourne, would use motion capture for their songs. Guitar Hero World Tour is also one of the only rhythm games to have the license to Tool. The Tool songs have a special background that is only used for those songs. Overall, Guitar Hero World Tour is a great game and the drums were a really good addition to this game. In 2008 alone, there was a total of 4 Guitar Hero games released, counting the DS games. I would say that's a lot for 1 year, and it would get worse the next year. Stay tuned for part 3 where we take a look at the Guitar Hero games released in 2009.